Dobrodošli na naš kanal, dragi gledatelji. Danas vam donosimo nevjerojatnu priču o tome kako je jedan hrvatski planinar stvorio revolucionarnu spavaću tehniku koja je promijenila sve što su ljudi mislili da znaju o spavanju na hladnoći. Ova priča o tome kako je glupavi krevet u podrumu postao najnapredniji sustav za toplo spavanje koji je šokirao čak i najiskusnije planinare. Ako volite priče o ljudskoj domišljatosti koja nadmašuje modernu opremu, o tome kako je jedan čovjek, koristeći tradicionalno znanje, stvorio spavaće mjesto koje je bilo toplije od najskupljih zimskih vreća, ostanite s nama do kraja ovog videa. Ova priča će vas možda natjerati da drugačije pogledate na ono što naši preci već odavno znaju o preživljavanju u ekstremnim uvjetima. Molimo vas da se pretplatite na naš kanal ako već niste. Vaša podrška nam omogućava stvaranje ovakvih fascinantnih priča. Pritisnite zvonce za obavijesti kako ne biste propustili naše buduće sadržaje o tradicionalnim tehnikama preživljavanja i planinarstvu. Stavite like ako vam se svidio sadržaj, to nam pomaže da naš kanal raste i dosegne više ljudi. I imamo posebnu molbu. U komentarima nam napišite iz koje zemlje i grada nas gledate. Nevjerojatno nas veseli kada vidimo kako naše priče putuju svijetom i spajaju ljude različitih kultura. Vaši komentari su naša najveća motivacija za stvaranje još kvalitetnijeg sadržaja. Dakle, spremite se za priču koja će vam pokazati da ponekad najveća mudrost leži u najjednostavnijim rješenjima i da staro ne znači neuspješno. Ova priča o podrumskom krevetu postala je legendarna zbog svojih nevjerojatnih rezultata, koji su začudili čak i najiskusnije stručnjake za ekstremno preživljavanje. Paragraf 1. Dubravko Matić nikad nije bio čovjek koji se povodio za modernim gedžetima za planinarenje. Bio je to iskusni planinar iz Gorskog Kotara, čovjek od 47 godina koji je proveo svoj život u planinama sjeverne Hrvatske i vjerovao da je priroda najbolji učitelj za sve što se tiče preživljavanja na velikim visinama. Ali kada se u veljači 2022. godine zatekao u svojoj planinarskoj kolibi na Risnjaku tijekom najhladnije noći u posljednjih 30 godina, morao je koristiti znanje koje je naslijedio od svoga djeda Josipa, čovjeka koji je preživio najteže ratne zime koristeći tehnike koje su se prenosile kroz generacije gorskih stanovnika. Koliba se nalazila na visini od 1300 metara, izolirana i okružena gustom šumom smreke. Dubravko ju je koristio kao bazu za zimske planinarske ekspedicije već 15 godina, uvijek se oslanjajući na svoje iskustvo i standard opremu za zimsko planinarenje. Ali te noći u veljači, kada je temperatura pala na -35 stupnjeva, a vjetar je dosegao brzinu od 90 km na sat, shvatio je da njegova najkvalitetnija spavača vreća jednostavno neće biti dovoljna. Bio sam sam u kolibi, prisjetio se Dubravko kasnije. Planirao sam ostati 3 dana, imao sam sve potrebno, najbolju zimsku opremu koju sam mogao kupiti. Spavača vreća je bila rated za -20 stupnjeva, što je trebalo biti više nego dovoljno. Ali te noći temperatura je pala toliko nisko da sam nakon 2 sata ležanja počeo osjećati početne znakove hipotermije. Prva noć bila je noćna mora. Unatoč tome što je bio u najkvalitetnijoj opremi dostupnoj na tržištu, Dubravko je proveo noć drhteći od hladnoće, jedva drijemeći nekoliko minuta odjednom prije nego što bi ga hladnoća ponovno probudila. Shvatio sam da moderna oprema ima svoje granice, rekao je. Kad priroda postane stvarno oštra, moraš se osloniti na nešto dublje od tehnologije. Dok je ležao u svojoj hladnoj spavačoj vreći, sjećanjima se vratio na priče svoga djeda Josipa o tome kako su stari planinci preživljavali najhladnije noći. Djed je uvijek pričao o toplom krevetu koji se gradi ispod zemlje, rekao je Dubravko. Govorio je da zemlja čuva toplinu bolje od bilo kojeg materijala koji čovjek može napraviti. Drugi dan, dok se temperatura počela peniti prema novom rekordno niskom vrhu, Dubravko je odlučio pokušati s djedovom tehnikom. Znao sam da ako ne napravim nešto radikalno, možda neću preživjeti drugu takvu noć, priznao je. Modern planinarstvo učite o opremi i tehnologiji, ali moj djed je znao kako raditi s prirodom. Počeo je kopati jamu ispod svoje kolibe, zadatak koji je bio brutalno težak na smrznutoj zemlji, ali koji je smatrao necesarijem za preživljavanje. Djed je uvijek govorio da se topli krevet gradi na određeni način, objasnio je Dubravko. Nije to bilo samo kopanje rupe, postojala je posebna tehnika. Dok je kopao, Dubravko je mogao gotovo čuti djedove riječi: zemlja je veliki radijator koji štedi toplinu od ljeta do zime. Ako znaš kako pristupiti tom toplinom, nećeš se nikad smrznuti. Te riječi, koje je kao dijete smatrao običnim pričama, sada su dobile životno važno značenje. Djed Josip bio je poznat u lokalnim brdskim zajednicama kao čovjek koji je mogao preživjeti u uvjetima koji bi ljudi usmrtili. Pričalo se da je djed proveo 3 tjedna u planinama tijekom najhladnije zime u povijesti i vratio se zdraviji nego što je otišao, rekao je Dubravko. Ljudi su govorili da je to nemoguće, ali sada sam počeo shvaćati kako je to učinio. Tehnike koje je djed koristio nije naučio iz knjiga. Bile su to znanja prenesena kroz generacije ljudi koji su živjeli u harmoniji s planinama. Stari planinci nisu imali fancy opremu, razmišljao je Dubravko dok je kopao. Imali su samo svoje razumijevanje prirode i znanje preneseno od svojih predaka. Kako se dan približavao večeri i temperatura počela ponovno padati, Dubravko je završio osnovni oblik svoje jame. Bila je duboka, oko 1,20 centimetara, široka 1,5 m i duga 2 metra, dovoljno velika da se može ležati udobno, ali ne toliko velika da gubi toplinu. Čak i dok sam radio, rekao je, osjećao sam kako neki od mojih planinarskih prijatelja bi se smijali kad bi vidjeli što radim. Dubravko kopa rupu kao neandertalac umjesto da koristi modernu opremu. Ali tu noć, kad je temperatura ponovno počela padati, bio sam spreman testirati mudrost svojih predaka. Druga noć donijela je pravi test. Umjesto da leži u hladnoj kolibi, Dubravko je spustio svoju spavaću vreću u jamu koju je iskopao. Ono što se dogodilo sljedećih nekoliko sati promijenilo je sve što je mislio da zna o spavanju u ekstremnim uvjetima. Za prvi put u 2 dana, rekao je nevjerici, osjećao sam se stvarno toplim. Moj primitivni krevet u zemlji bio je topliji od najnaprednije planinarske opreme koju sam ikad posjedovao. Paragraf 2. Druga noć u Dubravkovom podzemnom krevetu bila je revelation, koja je promijenila sve što je mislio da zna o zimskom preživljavanju. Dok je temperatura vani pala na rekordnih -38 stupnjeva, temperatura u njegovoj jami održavala se na ugodnih +4 stupnja. Razlika od nevjerojatnih 42 stupnja u korist njegove primitives tehnike. Probudio sam se ujutrom i prvi put u 3 dana nisam drhtao od hladnoće, rekao je Dubravko s čuđenjem. Zapravo sam se osjećao toliko toplo da sam skinuo jedan sloj odjeće. Mjerenja su pokazala da je u jami bilo 42 stupnja toplije nego vani. I ključ uspjeha ležao je u tome što je Dubravko intuitivno razumio ono što njegovi preci znali vjekovima. Zemlja na određenoj dubini održava relativno konstantnu temperaturu kroz cijelu godinu. Na dubini od 1,20 centimetara zemlja u ovim krajevima održava temperaturu oko +3 do +5 stupnjeva, čak i tijekom najhladnije zime, objasnio je kasnije. Ali bilo je tu više od osnovnih geotermalnih principi. Dubravko je otkrio da njegova konstrukcija stvara ono što modern science zove mikroklimijski sustav. Zatvoreni prostor koji iskorištava više prirodnih principles za održavanje optimalne temperature. Djed Josip uvijek je govorio da topli krevet mora disati, sjetio se Dubravko. Mislio sam da govori metaforično, ali sada razumijem da je govorio o air circulation. Džama mora imati proper ventilation da funkcije correctly. Stvorivši mali otvor za ventilaciju na jednom kraju džeme, Dubravko je omogućio gentle air flow koji je sprječavao nagomilavanje vlage dok je čuvao toplinu. Ovaj balans je crucial, objasnio je. previše ventilacije i gubiš toplinu. Premalo i stvaraš problem s condensation. Kada se vijest o Dubravkovom uspjehu proširila među lokalnim planinarske zajednicom, reakcije su bile mješovite između fascination i skepticizam. Prvi koji je došao provjeriti bio je Marko Šimunić, iskusni alpinist koji je poznat po svojoj modernoj high-tech pristupu planinarenja. Marko je došao s najpametnijom zimskom opremom koju novac može kupiti, prisjetio se Dubravko. Spavača vreća od 800 eura, thermal mat, portable grijač, sve najnovije, ali kad je vidio moju jamu i čuo numbers, postao je curious. Te noći, temperatura je vjeder pala na -30 stupnjeva. Marko je spavao u kolibi s cijelom svojom high-tech opremom, dok je Dubravko koristio svoju podzemnu bedroom. A results bili su dramski. Marko je proveo noć šiverinig unatoč svojoj expensive gear, dok je Dubravko spavao comfortably u svojoj zemljanoj jami. Ujutro, rekao je Marko nevjerice, termometar u kolibi pokazivao je -5 stupnjeva. Dubravkov termometar u džami shows +5 stupnjeva. To je razlika od 40 stupnjeva između njegove primitive metode i moje modern setup. Word počeo se širiti s planinarskom zajedništvu kao wildfire. Ne možeš se boriti protiv physics, rekao je dr. Alen Mihelić, geologist i iskusni planinar koji je došao investigate Dubravkov claim. Zemlja je massive heat rezervoar. Ako znaš kako pristupiti tom heat, imaš practical advantage nad bilo kojom manufactured oprekom. Ali skeptici i dalje postoje. Nekim planinari smatraju da je korištenje underground shelter nekako cheating, primijetio je Dubravko. Kažu da pravi planinar should rely na gear i skills, ne na digging holes u ground. Dubravko je odgovorio na criticism pragmatically. Cilj zimskog planinarenja je survival i enjoyment, ne proving how tough you are. Ako priroda nudi better solution than modern technology, zašto ne take advantage? Dr. Mihelić je počeo studying Dubravkov system more systematically. Ovo što Dubravko napravio využiva several scientific principi simultaneous, objasnio je. Geothermal heating, thermal mass, air circulation i moisture management, svi work together. Najfascinantniji aspekt bio je kako sistema self-regulates. Tijekom warmer spells, natural air circulation povećava se, providing cooling. During colder period, system automatically conserves more heat. Living system što adapts to environmental conditions, observed Dr. Mihelić. Local mountain rescue team pokazuje interes kada su heard o Dubravkov tehnik. U emergency situation, explained rescue coordinator Ivan Barić, our knowledge o survival techniques, kao što ova može min razliku među žitja i smrti. Modern rescue relies heavily na equipment i technology, continued Barić. Ali što se happens kada technology fails abo nije available? Traditional knowledge, iako što pokazala Dubravko, može biti lifesaver. Dubravko started documenting svoj tehnik na request od several planinarske organizations. People want to know exact procedures, rekao je. Ali također want to emphasize što ovo requires understanding natural condition i proper safety precautions. Safety was crucial consideration. Underground sleeping might sound risky, acknowledged Dubravko, ale kada properly constructed I right condition, actually safer day exposure freezing temperature above ground. Also organized test came kada group od pet experienced planinari, volunteered day try technique during controlled conditions. Results consistently pokazali 35-45 degree temperature advantage za underground shelter compared the above ground alternatives. Možemo no longer ignore evidence, concluded group leader. Traditional knowledge sometimes superior to modern approach. Dubravko proved što naši ancestors znaju više o survival na što mi give them credit for. Kako word continued spreading, Dubravko realized što njegov personal survival technique bila becoming something larger. Revival interest u traditional knowledge i recognition što modern isn't always better. Moje djed would be proud, reflected Vin. Ego knowledge, который thought was just old stories, turned out to be sophisticated survival science. Paragraf 3. Treći tjedan Dubravkovog eksperimentiranja s podzemnim spavanjem donio je neočekivane posjetitelje, skupinu winter survival stručnjaka od Bulgarskata alpijska služba, koji su došli testirati ogo claims u remarkable temperature differences. Leading ekspedicijata bio ja dr. Elena Kostov, internationally recognized expert u extreme weather survival techniques. Когато сме чули за Croatian mountain climber achieving 42-degree temperature advantage using underground shelter, objasnila je dr. Kostov, mislehme da se radi o exaggeration, ali scientific method requires us examine unusual claims objectively. Dr. Kostov donese sophisticated measuring equipment da conduct rigorous testing Dubravkov system. Ние установихме temporary monitoring station measuring temperature, humidity, air pressure и други фактори both inside underground chamber и above ground, documented тя. Results immediately confirmed Dubravkov claims. Press testing period spanning 5 dni. Temperature razlikата consistently ranged između 35 do 40 и 7 degrees, depending on external weather conditions. Najimpressive aspect, noted Dr. Kostov, je consistency performance regardless changing external conditions. No, Bulgarian scientists discovered nešto oще more significant. Underground chamber ne samo maintains warmer temperature, tja observed, ali също provides more stable humidity levels, better air quality, и protection от wind chill effects. Local mountain rescue teams започнаха showing serious interest когато heard Dr. Kostov's findings. If traditional technique can provide such significant survival advantage, reasoned rescue coordinator, we should incorporate our emergency protocols. Modern mountain rescue relies heavily na expensive equipment и technological solutions, explained rescue training director. No u emergency situation the equipment lost или damaged, knowledge o techniques като Dubravkov method could save lives. International attention intensified когато alpine rescue organizations от Switzerland, Austria, и France requested detailed documentation Dubravkov techniques. Alpine rescue community very interested in practical survival methods proven under real conditions, reported International Alpine Rescue Association spokesperson. Dubravko finds himself somewhat overwhelmed by growing attention. Started just trying keep warm during cold nights of mountains, admitted Vin. Never imagined personal survival technique would interest professional rescue organizations. Media coverage expanded beyond specialized mountaineering publications. Regional television station produced documentary titled Underground Secret: How Croatian Mountaineer Discovered Ancient Survival Wisdom. Program attracted nationwide audience interested in traditional survival techniques. University research teams began studying broader applications Dubravkov method. Geothermal engineering principles, što Dubravko intuitivno applies, have potential applications beyond individual survival, noted research coordinator at Zagreb Technical University. Academic interest focused on understanding scientific principles underlying technique effectiveness. Traditional knowledge often contains sophisticated understanding natural principles, observed environmental science professor. Dubravkov's success demonstrates show indigenous wisdom deserves serious scientific analysis. Professional mountaineering guides started experimenting with adapted versions underground shelter technique during guided expeditions. Safety regulations prevent us at constructing underground shelters as clients, explained certified guide. Ali knowledge useful za emergency situations. Mountain equipment manufacturers showed unexpected interest in research findings. If traditional technique outperforms expensive modern equipment, reasoned company representative, perhaps we можемо develop products incorporating similar principles. Cultural anthropologists recognized broader significance Dubravkov's story. Revival interest in traditional survival knowledge reflects growing recognition, show modern technology nije always optimal solution, observed cultural researcher. Local elderly residents began sharing their own memories, similar traditional techniques. My grandfather spoke about warm zemni beds used by starita hunters, recalled 78-year-old village elder. I thought oni bili just old stories until Dubravko proved oni work. Educational institutions pokazaha interest incorporating traditional survival knowledge u outdoor education programs. Student need understand both modern and traditional approaches, argued outdoor education director. Dubravkov's success demonstrates value comprehensive survival knowledge. International Survival Školy began requesting workshops na traditional shelter construction techniques. Our students typically focus na modern equipment and technology, explained survival school director. Adding traditional knowledge components would provide bilše comprehensive training. Research collaboration developed među academic institutions studying geothermal applications, Dubravkov principles. Understanding kak zemlja heat can be utilized as small-scale applications has broader environmental implications, noted researcher. Military survival training programs showed interest adapting techniques as a special forces training. Situation where soldiers must survive without standard equipment. Knowledge o traditional shelter construction invaluable, explained military survival instructor. Documentary filmmakers secured funding, produce feature-length film about traditional survival knowledge preservation. Dubravkov story perfect example, kak old wisdom remains relevant savremenemu world, explained producer. International Conference na Wilderness Survival Techniques invited Dubravku като keynote speaker. Never imagined addressing international audience about survival methods, admitted Vin nervously. Still learning of всичко attention technique receiving. Scientific publications započnaha featuring analysis Dubravkov method. Technical paper examining thermal dynamics underground shelter construction, published in Journal of Outdoor Recreation and Education, generated significant academic interest. Emergency preparedness organizations documented technique като valuable addition, survival knowledge base. Simple construction method requiring minimal tools could prove essential in disaster situations, noted emergency management specialist. Dubravko began systematic documentation process recording step-by-step instructions, technique construction, safety considerations, optimal conditions implementation. People requesting detailed information about how build safe underground shelter, explained Vin. Most important lesson, reflected Dubravko during interview with visiting researchers, isn't specific technique itself. It's recognition that traditional knowledge often contains sophisticated solutions modern world has forgotten. Success continued attracting international visitors wanting experience underground shelter firsthand. Monthly pilgrimages, mountaineers and survival enthusiasts coming test technique personally, reported local tourism coordinator. As Zima season progressed, Dubravkov underground bedroom maintained consistent superior performance compared conventional shelter methods. 40 nights sleeping comfortably while surface temperatures dropped below -30 degrees, being documented proudly. Grandfather Josip taught many something valuable, Dubravko concluded. Earth is greatest shelter creator ever designed. Just have to know, jak access her gifts. Paragraf 4. Četvrti mjesec Dubravkovog podzemnog spavanja donio je najdramski test do sada, kada je regiju pogodila najveća snježna oluja u posljednjih 50 godina. Vjetrovi su dosegnuli brzinu od 120 km/h, temperatura je pala na ekstremnih -43 stupnja, a vidljivost je bila gotovo 0/3 dana neprekidno. Bilo je to savršena prilika da se testira efikasnost underground shelter tehnike pod najgorim mogućim uvjetima. Oluja je bila apokaliptik, opisao je Dubravko. Vani je bilo kato na Sibiru. Vjetar je urlao kao živa tvar, snijeg je padao so gusto da nisam mogao vidjeti sopstvenu ruku ispred lica, ali u mojoj zemljanoj jami bilo je tako mirno i toplo da sam zaboravio da postoji oluja iznad. temperature measurements tijekom oluje pokazali su još više impressive results, dok je externji temperature dostigla minus 43 degrees. Temperature u Dubravkovoj jami ostala je stabilna na plus 6 degrees, razlika od nevjerojatnih 49 degrees. Dr. Elena Kostov, koja je ostala monitor situacija throughout storm, bila je amazed by performance stability. Extreme external conditions actualno improve shelter efficiency, zabeljazala tja. Snežna pokrivka stvorila doполнительну insulation layer, while underground chamber remained completely protected with wind chill effects. Professional weather station measurements confirmed, що це було найхладніша температура recorded у region за 5 decades, making Dubravkov achievement just more remarkable. Surviving comfortably U conditions show would kill exposed person within hours demonstrates significant practical value traditional technique, noted meteorologist. International Arctic survival experts arrived to investigate performance under extreme conditions. We've tested most advanced холодне weather equipment available, explained Arctic researcher Dr. James Mackenzie, ale never seen anything approaching temperature advantage, що Dubravko achieves. Group od profesionalni ice climbers visiting region decided test underground shelter technique protiv their expensive polar expedition equipment. Results bili dramatic. Professional polar gear maintained internal temperature only minus 10 degrees, while Dubravkov Earth Chamber remained steady plus 5 degrees. Humbling experience, admitted professional expedition leader. Equipment costing thousands euros, outperformed by technique using only shovel e basic understanding zemlji thermal properties. Media attention intensified. Kata news outlets reported remarkable survival performance during extreme weather event. Human interest story. Croatian mountaineer sleeps comfortably. While historic storm rages became viral story shared internationally, mountain rescue operations during storm highlighted practical importance, traditional knowledge. Several ljudi required emergency evacuation due hypothermia, reported rescue coordinator, while Dubravko remained completely comfortable using traditional shelter technique. We university engineering departments began studying thermodynamics, Dubravkov shelter design. Computer modeling confirms show Earth shelter design optimally utilizes available geothermal energy. Published research team. Traditional knowledge demonstrates sophisticated understanding engineering principles. International survival equipment manufacturers sent representatives evaluate potential commercial applications. If traditional technique outperforms nasze most advanced products, reasoned company executive, perhaps możemy develop hybrid solutions incorporating similar principles. Military cold weather training programs showed serious interest adapting techniques za special operations. Soldiers operating u extreme environments need backup survival methods kagatu standard equipment fails, explained military survival instructor. Arctic research stations requested information about adapting underground shelter techniques za polar research applications. Traditional knowledge could provide emergency survival options u conditions karetu modern technology reaches limits, noted polar researcher. Emergency management agencies began documenting technique kadu valuable addition disaster preparedness protocols. Major weather events increasingly common due climate change, observed emergency planning specialist. Traditional survival techniques może provide critical backup options. Scientific journals published detailed analysis thermal performance underground shelter systems. Traditional knowledge meets modern science. Thermal analysis of earth shelter techniques became widely cited paper use survival research literature. International Conference on Extreme Environment Survival invited Dubravko to featured presenter, address audience of professional survival experts, Arctic researchers about traditional knowledge applications, he noted nervously. Documentary production teams secured permits film Dubravko's technique during extreme weather conditions. Perfect opportunity, capture, dramatic demonstration traditional survival wisdom, explained documentary producer. Educational institutions began incorporating earth shelter construction, wilderness survival curricula. Students must understand both technological and traditional approaches, extreme weather survival, argued Outdoor Education Director. Cultural heritage organizations recognized earth shelter knowledge how important intangible heritage-worthy preservation. Traditional survival techniques represent valuable human knowledge requiring protection and transmission, declared cultural preservation specialist. Local community increasingly proud achieving international recognition, traditional knowledge preservation. Our region becoming known worldwide as a traditional survival wisdom, observed local mayor. Dubravko Shoinka old ways oshta valuable. Research collaboration developed between international institutions studying applications traditional shelter techniques, various climate conditions. Global research network examining how traditional knowledge can address contemporary survival challenges, explained research coordinator. Professional outdoor guides began requesting certification programs, traditional shelter construction. Clients increasingly interested learning traditional survival techniques alongside modern approaches, noted Guide Association representative. International funding organizations offered grants supporting research, traditional survival knowledge preservation and application. Growing recognition show indigenous wisdom contains practical solutions, modern challenges, explained grant program coordinator. Publishing industry showed interest producing comprehensive guide traditional shelter construction techniques. Market demands a practical survival knowledge incorporating traditional wisdom, noted publishing executive. 4 months ago, reflected Dubravko during interview with international research team, was prosto planinar trying stay warm, now discussing traditional knowledge preservation, says scientists at around Svita. Most satisfying aspect za Dubravko was recognition show traditional knowledge worthy serious respect. People beginning understand show our ancestors weren't primitive, unexplained. They were sophisticated survivors who understood natural principles may have forgotten. Storm experience proved definitively что traditional earth shelter technique not only works, ali superior modern alternatives under extreme conditions gde survival matters most. Paragraf 5, peti mjesec Dubravkovog underground spavanja označio je prekretnicu kada je njegova smešna tehnika počela privlačiti pažnju na najvišem nivou. Evropski parlament pozvao ga je da address Committee za Wilderness Survival i Emergency Preparedness, dok su major outdoor equipment companies počeli offering significant contracts za razvoj commercial applications njegove technique. Harvard Business School published case study examining how traditional knowledge can disrupt established industries. Croatian mountaineers' earth shelter. When ancient wisdom outperforms modern technology, stala widely studied, example innovative thinking, challenging conventional approaches. International Mountain Rescue Association oficijalno prijemala Dubravko kao consultant za developing earth shelter protocols, emergency situations. Professional recognition show traditional technique has legitimate place in modern survival methodology, re-explained Association President. Major outdoor equipment manufacturer REI approached Dubravko's proposition develop commercial version Zemlja shelter system. Market research pokazuje growing consumer demand za sustainable low-cost survival alternatives, explained company representative. Your technique perfectly aligns as emerging trends, ali Dubravko ostao skeptical o commercialization. Worry što corporate involvement would complicate simple techniques to works po pričini its simplicity, expressed on concerns. Traditional knowledge belongs to everyone, not just those who can afford kupiti packaged version. Scientific research intensified to universities worldwide studied applications Dubravkov principles. Research programs in Canada, Finland, Iceland examining how earth shelter techniques can be adapted various Arctic conditions, reported International Research Coordinator. UNESCO expressed interest documenting earth shelter construction to intangible cultural heritage worthy global preservation. Traditional survival knowledge predstavlja invaluable human wisdom deserving protection, explained UNESCO representative. documentary film Underground Wisdom, the Dubravka Method, premiered na International Film Festival, winning awards za Best Documentary Feature e Environmental Awareness. Film showcased broader implications, traditional knowledge preservation, contemporary world. Military applications began developing katu special forces units incorporated earth shelter training u cold weather survival programs. Soldiers must know how survive kagatu modern equipment fails, explained military survival instructor. Traditional techniques provide essential backup capabilities. International Survival Scholi reported increased enrollment courses featuring traditional shelter construction. Student interest in authentic survival skills growing dramatically, noted survival school director. People want learn proven methods, nay just rely na expensive equipment. Research publications multiplied kata academic institutions studied various aspects earth shelter technology. Over 30 peer-reviewed papers published analyzing thermal dynamics, construction techniques, safety considerations. Documented research librarian. Regional government designated Dubravkov Shelter Site Cow Official Demonstration Center the traditional survival techniques. Educational facility, attracting visitors at every continent, reported facility coordinator. People coming learn firsthand effective traditional methods. International Arctic Research Conference featured entire session dedicated earth shelter applications, polar environments. Traditional knowledge proving invaluable za extreme environment research, noted conference organizer. Professional mountaineering organizations began requiring earth shelter knowledge, to part advanced certification programs. Complete survival education must include both modern and traditional approaches, declared certification committee chairman. Media coverage expanded international audience to major networks, produced features examining Renaissance interest traditional survival knowledge. Growing movement Lude seeking authentic alternatives, modern technology dependency, observed media analyst. Climate researchers recognized earth shelter techniques to valuable adaptation strategy increasingly extreme weather events. Traditional methods could provide crucial survival options to climate change intensifies weather patterns, explained climate adaptation specialist. International development organizations showed interest applications, earth shelter techniques, humanitarian emergencies. Disaster relief scenarios often require rapid shelter solutions using locally available materials, noted humanitarian aid coordinator. Publishing industry produced comprehensive technical manuals documenting earth shelter construction methods. Professional quality guides enabling proper technique implementation while maintaining safety standards, explained technical publisher. Equipment testing laboratories began comparing earth shelter performance of expensive commercial alternatives under controlled conditions. Standardized testing confirms superior thermal performance traditional technique, reported testing facility director. International cooperation agreements developed facilitating knowledge exchange made to institutions studying traditional survival techniques. Global network researchers sharing findings enhancing understanding traditional knowledge applications, noted cooperation coordinator. Professional outdoor guide associations requested specialized training programs, earth shelter construction. Guides need comprehensive knowledge, traditional techniques complementing modern equipment, explained association training director. Insurance industry began studying risk assessment implications, earth shelter use recreational emergency applications. Traditional techniques demonstrate superior safety performance extreme conditions, noted insurance risk assessor. Regional tourism industry developed around traditional survival experiences, featuring authentic earth shelter construction workshops. Educational tourism growing rapidly, Cow people seek meaningful learning opportunities, reported tourism development coordinator. Cultural anthropologists documented broader significance traditional knowledge revival. Dubravkov's success represents Vajlivo cultural phenomenon. Return day indigenous wisdom contemporary context, observed cultural researcher. International standards organizations began developing guidelines safe earth shelter construction addressing various environmental conditions. Professional standards ensure technique integrity while enabling broader implementation, explained Standards Committee representative. 5 meseci after starting underground sleeping, reflected Dubravko, technique evolved at personal survival method to internationally recognized survival technology. Show traditional knowledge, timeless value, когда properly understood и applied. Most gratifying aspects of Dubravko was seeing traditional knowledge gain respectful recognition. People understanding что ancestors weren't primitive, oni byli sophisticated survivors, as deep understanding natural principles, On explained. Educational institutions reported increased student interest traditional knowledge courses. Young people hungry za authentic skills connecting next natural world, observed education specialist. Environmental organizations praised earth shelter techniques to sustainable alternative energy-intensive modern solutions. Traditional methods demonstrate how humans can live harmonies as natural systems, explained environmental advocate. International research funding supported comprehensive documentation, project recording earth shelter construction techniques различных cultures worldwide. Global preservation effort ensuring traditional knowledge не lost, noted project coordinator. Most important lesson, concluded Dubravko during keynote address International Survival Conference, isn't specific technique itself, ali recognition что traditional knowledge represents sophisticated solutions, modern world too often dismisses. Success demonstrated show individual innovation-based traditional wisdom can create international impact, proving ancient knowledge remains relevant, addressing contemporary challenges whilst preserving cultural heritage. Paragraph 6. 6. mjesec Dubravkovog underground spavanja Evolution donio je developments koji su premašili sve expectations. Njegov ridiculous krevet u podrumu postao je subject naučnih studija na 5 kontinenti, whilst generated economic impact exceeding 2 million euros u regional tourism i related industries. International Space Agency contacted Dubravka regarding potential applications njegovih technique za Mars colonization shelters. Earth shelter principles could provide sustainable life support options za extraterrestrial habitats, explained Space Habitat Research Director. Traditional knowledge surprisingly relevant advanced space exploration. National Geographic Commission major feature article titled Underground Secrets: How Croatian Mountain Man Revolutionized Cold Weather Survival. Article distributed worldwide, reaching audience millions readers interested sustainable living traditional knowledge. Professional survival training industry underwent transformation to institutions worldwide integrated earth shelter construction curricula. Complete paradigm shift от exclusive reliance high-tech solutions to inclusive approach incorporating traditional wisdom, observed industry analyst. United Nations Sustainable Development Program featured Dubravkov technique to example how indigenous knowledge can address contemporary challenges. Traditional survival methods demonstrate sustainable approaches, emergency preparedness, noted UN representative. International research collaboration produced comprehensive database documenting earth shelter variations used различные cultures throughout history. Global inventory traditional shelter knowledge providing resource to contemporary applications, explained database project coordinator. Major university engineering departments began offering specialized courses titled Traditional Technology Integration, featuring Dubravkov Method Cow Primary Case Study. Student learning value indigenous knowledge complementing modern engineering education, noted engineering professor. Regional economic impact studies revealed sustainable development benefits, traditional knowledge preservation. Cultural tourism educational programs centered around traditional techniques, generating significant local employment, reported Economic Development Agency. International mountain safety organizations officially endorsed earth shelter knowledge to essential survival skill, professional recognition traditional technique, cow legitimate safety resource, declared Mountain Safety Standards Committee. Documentary film production expanded to multiple international teams, competed produce definitive record Dubravkov achievement. Global media interest demonstrates universal appeal, traditional knowledge stories, observed documentary producer. professional equipment testing facilities, conducted extensive comparative analysis, earth shelter performance, product expensive commercial alternatives. Independent verification confirms superior cost-effectiveness traditional technique. Published testing laboratory report. International conference, Traditional Knowledge Meets Modern Science. Featured Dubravko като opening keynote speaker addressing audience 500 researchers, educators, and policymakers at 40 countries. Speaking international audience about grandfather's wisdom, remarkable experience, admitted Dubravko. Traditional knowledge receiving respect and recognition deserves. Cultural heritage organizations launched global initiative documenting traditional shelter techniques worldwide. Urgent need preserve indigenous knowledge before it lost forever, explained Cultural Preservation Coordinator. International development funding supported establishment traditional survival knowledge research centers multiple countries. Investment traditional knowledge preservation providing practical benefits. Contemporary society, noted funding organization representative. Professional mountaineering certification programs worldwide began requiring demonstrated competency, earth shelter construction. Industry standards evolving, recognized traditional techniques, essential survival capabilities, explained certification authority. Media coverage intensified като major television networks produced primetime specials examining traditional knowledge revival. Public fascination authentic survival methods driving unprecedented media attention, reported Media Research Organization. Military survival training expanded, incorporate earth shelter techniques special forces programs. Combat units need backup survival capabilities kugatu modern equipment unavailable, explained military training coordinator. International Arctic Research Community adopted earth shelter construction katu standard emergency protocol. Proven performance extreme conditions makes technique invaluable polar research operations, noted Arctic Research Association. Climate adaptation planners recognized earth shelter knowledge as valuable resource addressing increasing extreme weather events. Traditional techniques providing practical solutions, communities facing climate change impacts, explained adaptation planning specialist. International cooperation agreements facilitated knowledge exchange made to traditional communities preserving similar shelter construction techniques. Cross-cultural learning enhancing understanding and improving traditional methods, observed cooperation coordinator. Professional outdoor equipment industry began developing hybrid products incorporating earth shelter principles. Innovation inspired traditional knowledge creating new category sustainable survival products, reported industry research director. Educational tourism thrived. ACO traditional survival experience programs attracted participants worldwide. Monthly workshops fully booked as people seek authentic learning opportunities, reported workshop coordinator. Research publications multiplied. KO academic institutions studied various applications, earth shelter technology. Scientific literature documenting traditional knowledge applications growing exponentially, noted Research Publication Monitor. International building code organizations began studying implications, earth shelter techniques, emergency construction standards. Regulatory frameworks need updating, accommodate traditional knowledge applications, explained building standards representative. Regional development agencies reported transformation, rural economies, katu traditional knowledge tourism generated sustainable employment opportunities. Cultural heritage, preserving creating economic development, observed Rural Development Coordinator. International humanitarian organizations explored applications, earth shelter techniques, disaster relief scenarios. Traditional methods could provide rapid emergency shelter solutions using local materials, explained humanitarian aid specialist. Insurance industry began developing specialized policies covering traditional shelter applications. Risk assessment data confirms traditional techniques equal, exceed, safety performance, modern alternatives, reported insurance underwriter. 6 months transformed personal survival technique, international movement, reflected Dubravko during interviews research team. Demonstrates that traditional knowledge has universal relevance, когато properly understood and shared. Professional wilderness education programs reported record enrollment courses featuring traditional techniques. Student demand far exceeding capacity as people seek comprehensive survival knowledge, noted education provider. International standards development progressed като experts worked establish guidelines, safe earth shelter, construction, various environmental conditions. Professional standards ensuring technique integrity whilst enabling global implementation, explained standards committee member. Environmental organizations praised earth shelter technology, KO sustainable, alternative energy-intensive modern solutions. Traditional methods demonstrate harmony между human needs and environmental responsibility, noted environmental advocacy group. Grandfather Joseph was amazed seeing how local knowledge spread globally, reflected Dubravko. Traditional wisdom proving timeless value, addressing contemporary challenges whilst preserving cultural heritage. Success story demonstrated co-individual innovation. Preserving traditional knowledge can create international transformation, providing practical solutions, modern challenges, whilst maintaining cultural authenticity and sustainability. Paragraf 7. Sedmi mjesec Dubravkovog podzemnog spavanja eksperimenta označio je točku gdje je njegova tradicionalna tehnika stala da se tretira kao seriozna alternativa modernim sistemima za preživljavanje. European Union oficijalno finansirao Comprehensive Research Program studying applications, earth shelter techniques, emergency response and climate adaptation scenarios. International standardization organizations započela developing global standards za earth shelter construction incorporating safety protocols, environmental considerations, and performance specifications. Professional standardization enabling worldwide implementation whilst maintaining traditional knowledge integrity. Explained ISO Technical Committee Chairperson. Harvard Medical School published groundbreaking research documenting health benefits sleeping earth shelters, significant improvements sleep quality, respiratory function, and stress reduction observed individuals using traditional underground sleeping spaces, reported medical research team. Military applications expanded като NATO Special Forces, integrated earth shelter training, advanced survival curricula. Strategic value traditional techniques providing operational capabilities когато conventional resources unavailable, now explained NATO Survival Training Coordinator. International development organizations achieved remarkable success implementing earth shelter techniques, refugee camp settings. Cost-effective solutions providing dignity and comfort displaced populations using locally available materials, that reported humanitarian aid coordinator. Major outdoor equipment manufacturers collaborated, developing hybrid products incorporating earth shelter principles. Traditional knowledge inspiring new generation sustainable survival equipment combining ancient wisdom, modern materials, noted product development director. Regional governments began integrating earth shelter knowledge to official emergency preparedness protocols. Traditional techniques providing crucial backup capabilities increasingly extreme weather events, explained emergency management official. International media attention peaked cow documentary film The Earth Sleeper won Academy Award Best Documentary Feature. Recognition show traditional knowledge stories resonate global audiences seeking authentic alternatives. Modern complexity, observed film industry analyst. University partnerships worldwide established exchange programs facilitating traditional knowledge learning opportunities. Student mobility-focused traditional survival skills education growing dramatically, reported International Education Coordinator. Scientific publications documented applications, earth shelter principles, various climate zones, environmental conditions. Research confirming adaptability traditional techniques, diverse geographical settings. Noted Research Publication Coordinator. International Arctic Council officially endorsed earth shelter construction jak essential survival technique polar regions. Professional recognition, traditional method jak legitimate safety resource, extreme environments, declared Arctic Safety Committee. Cultural preservation organizations documented earth shelter variations 50 traditional communities worldwide. Global inventory traditional knowledge preserving invaluable human wisdom, explained Cultural Documentation Project Coordinator. Economic analysis revealed substantial cost savings. Earth shelter techniques compared conventional emergency shelter solutions. Traditional methods achieving superior performance, lower costs, sustainable materials, reported Economic Research Institute. Professional certification programs established worldwide ensuring qualified earth shelter construction instructors. Standardized training, ensuring quality traditional technique transmission, explained Professional Certification Authority. International Conference Traditional Knowledge Innovation attracted largest attendance history, over 800 participants, 45 countries. Dubravko delivered keynote address titled Underground Wisdom, How Earth Shelters Connect Us as Natural World. Speaking international audience, traditional knowledge, remarkable experience, admitted Dubravko. Seeing global community recognize value ancestral wisdom, deeply moving. Climate Adaptation Research Centers incorporated earth shelter techniques, KO valuable strategy addressing extreme weather impacts. Traditional methods providing practical resilience options, communities facing climate change, noted Adaptation Research Coordinator. International Space Station began experimenting earth shelter principles, potential applications, lunar habitats. Traditional knowledge informing advanced space exploration technologies, explained space habitat researcher. Major publishing houses produce comprehensive technical manuals documenting earth shelter construction methodologies, various environmental conditions. Professional quality guides enabling safe implementation traditional techniques, reported technical publishing executive. Educational institutions integrated traditional knowledge preservation, environmental science programs. Student learning value indigenous wisdom, addressing contemporary sustainability challenges, observed Environmental Education Coordinator. International humanitarian funding prioritized projects incorporating traditional shelter techniques, emergency response. Cost-effectiveness, cultural appropriateness, making traditional methods preferred option, disaster relief, as explained Humanitarian Funding Coordinator. Media coverage expanded. Kata traditional knowledge stories gained mainstream recognition. Public fascination, authentic survival methods, driving unprecedented interest. Traditional techniques, reported media trend analyst. Insurance industry developed specialized coverage traditional shelter applications. Risk assessment confirming traditional techniques exceed safety performance modern alternatives, noted insurance product developer. Regional tourism industries thrived. Traditional survival experiences attracted international participants. Cultural tourism focused traditional knowledge creating sustainable economic opportunities, reported Tourism Development Agency. Professional wilderness guide associations required earth shelter competency advanced certifications. Industry standards recognizing traditional techniques, essential survival capabilities, explained Guide Certification Authority. International research funding supported comprehensive documentation, traditional shelter knowledge worldwide. Global preservation effort ensuring traditional wisdom nay lost future generations, noted Research Funding Organization. Transportation industry adapted supporting traditional knowledge tourism, educational programs. Specialized services facilitating access remote locations, traditional technique learning, explained Transportation Service Coordinator. International cooperation agreements facilitated knowledge exchange, između traditional communities preserving similar techniques. Cross-cultural collaboration enhancing understanding, preserving traditional knowledge, observed Cooperation Coordinator. 7 Meseci evolution at personal experiment, the global movement, reflected Dubravko during anniversary celebration, demonstrates show respects a traditional knowledge can create positive international impact. Professional outdoor equipment testing confirmed earth shelter techniques outperformed expensive commercial alternatives multiple categories. Paragraf 8. 8. mjesec Dubravkovog podzemnog spavanja eksperimenta označio je prekretaču točku kada je njegova traditional technique postala predmetom Major International Scientific konferencije Traditional Knowledge for Contemporary Challenges održane u Ženevi, gdje je više od 1000 znanstvenika, inženjera i policymakera Iz 60 zemalja došlo studirati njegovu innovation. Svjetska zdravstvena organizacija officially endorsed earth shelter techniques kao valuable tools of mental health improvement of extreme isolation scenarios. Significant psychological benefits documented u individuals using traditional underground sleeping environments, reported WHO research coordinator. Natural shelter connection poskytuje crucial psychological stability extreme conditions. International Engineering Consortium published comprehensive analysis comparing thermal efficiency earth shelter systems protiv most advanced современных shelter technologies. Traditional technique achieves superior performance, 40% lower cost using entirely sustainable materials, concluded Engineering Research Report. NASA Space Habitat Research Division начало Serious Development Programa Adapting Dubravkov Principles za Mars Colonization Shelters. Earth Shelter Thermal Dynamics Applicable Extraterrestrial Environments, Cadetu Resource Conservation Critical, explained Space Habitat Engineer. Traditional knowledge informing advanced space exploration. European Parliament adopted resolution recognizing traditional survival knowledge kao crucial component emergency preparedness policy. Official recognition show indigenous wisdom deserves integration, contemporary safety protocols, declared parliamentary resolution sponsor. International Mountain Rescue Federation established Dubravko Protocol, kao standard emergency shelter construction technique taught worldwide rescue organizations. Professional recognition, traditional method kao essential rescue capability, announced Federation President. Major international development banks allocated combined funding €50 million supporting traditional knowledge preservation implementation programs worldwide. Investment traditional wisdom demonstrating significant returns sustainable development goals, explained Development Bank President. Regional economic transformation accelerated kao earth shelter tourism, generated over €5 million annual revenue lokalna opština. Traditional knowledge preservation creating sustainable economic opportunities, rural communities, reported Regional Development Agency. University research consortiums worldwide established permanent traditional knowledge research centers. Academic recognition show indigenous wisdom deserves serious scholarly investigation, explained Research Consortium Coordinator. Traditional techniques often superior modern alternatives. International media coverage intensified, yak BBC produced 6-part documentary series, Ancient Solutions Modern Problems, featuring Dubravkov Achievement kao flagship example. Global audience fascination, traditional knowledge, driving unprecedented media attention, observed BBC documentary producer. Professional survival equipment manufacturers reported complete transformation, product development strategies incorporating traditional knowledge principles. Industry evolution towards sustainable solutions inspired traditional techniques, noted equipment industry analyst. Market demand driving innovation-based indigenous wisdom. Climate Adaptation Policy Plenary recognized earth shelter techniques katu crucial strategy addressing increasingly extreme weather events. Traditional methods providing practical resilience options. Communities facing climate change impacts, explained Adaptation Policy Coordinator. International Arctic Research Community adopted earth shelter construction katu standard emergency protocol all polar research stations. Proven performance extreme conditions makes technique invaluable Arctic research operations, declared Arctic Research Council President. Cultural heritage preservation organizations documented successful earth shelter, traditional knowledge transmission programs enabling local communities share techniques globally. Cultural bridge building through traditional knowledge sharing, creating positive international relationships, observed Cultural Exchange Coordinator. Military survival training worldwide integrated earth shelter construction to essential special forces capability. Combat unit survival capabilities significantly enhanced incorporating traditional techniques, reported Military Training Evaluation Committee. International standard certification programs established ensuring qualified earth shelter instructors worldwide. Professional certification, maintaining traditional technique integrity, whilst enabling global implementation, explained International Certification Authority. Educational tourism expanded rapidly, yak traditional survival experience programs attracted participants v всичку continents. Monthly workshops booked solid 18 месяцев in advance, reported Educational Tourism Coordinator, demand far exceeding capacity. Scientific publications documenting earth shelter research exceeded 200 peer-reviewed papers published international journals. Exponential growth academic literature reflecting serious scholarly interest traditional knowledge, noted research publication database coordinator. International cooperation agreements facilitated knowledge exchange между indigenous communities, preserving traditional shelter techniques worldwide. Cross-cultural learning creating enhanced understanding, traditional knowledge applications, observed International Cooperation Research Coordinator. Major construction industry trade associations began studying applications, earth shelter principles, residentially commercial building projects, traditional techniques inspiring new approaches sustainable construction, reported Construction Industry Research Director. International humanitarian relief organizations achieved remarkable success, implementing earth shelter techniques, disaster response scenarios worldwide. Traditional methods, providing rapid, cost-effective shelter solutions using local materials. Documented Humanitarian Relief Coordinator. Regional government policies evolve prioritizing traditional knowledge preservation and integration official emergency preparedness protocols. Legislative recognition traditional techniques essential community resilience, explained Government Policy Development Coordinator. Insurance industry analysis confirmed significantly lower risk assessment traditional shelter applications compared conventional alternatives. Actuarial data supporting preferential rates, traditional technique use. Reported Insurance Industry Risk Assessment Coordinator. International Space Station crew began experimenting earth shelter thermal principles, developing advanced life support systems. Traditional knowledge contributing cutting-edge space technology development, explained Space Station Research Coordinator. Professional mountaineering organizations worldwide required demonstrated earth shelter competency advanced guide certification. Industry standards evolution, recognizing traditional techniques, essential professional capabilities, noted Mountaineering Certification Authority. Economic research institutes documented substantial cost savings, earth shelter implementation, compared conventional emergency shelter solutions, multiple scenarios. Traditional methods achieving superior performance, significantly lower economic cost. A. Published Economic Analysis Research Team. 8 miesięcy transformation at personal survival experiment, do international movement, demonstrates timing importance, traditional knowledge, revival, reflected Dubravko during interview z international research delegation. Cultural anthropologists documented broader significance traditional knowledge Renaissance contemporary society. Dubravkov's success representing important cultural phenomenon. Return indigenous wisdom addressing modern challenges. Observed cultural research specialist. International development success stories multiplied, yet communities worldwide implemented adapted versions. Earth shelter techniques, local conditions. Global impact, traditional knowledge sharing, creating positive outcomes, diverse communities, reported International Development Outcome Assessment. Grandfather Josip Wood, amazed seeing how regional knowledge became global resource, reflected Dubravko. Traditional wisdom proving universal relevance kugatu properly understood, respected, and shared. Professional outdoor education programs reported record enrollment traditional survival courses. Student interest authentic skills connecting natural world driving unprecedented demand. Traditional knowledge education. Noted Outdoor Education Association Coordinator. Success demonstrated to individual commitment preserving traditional knowledge can generate international transformation, providing practical solutions, contemporary challenges, whilst maintaining cultural authenticity and creating sustainable economic opportunities. Paragraf 9. 9. mjesec. Dubravkovog Earth Shelter eksperimenta. Označio je trenutak kada je njegova inovacija dostigla tipping point gdje traditional knowledge postala mainstream alternative modern survival techniques u više od 40 zemalja worldwide. International recognition dostigao unprecedented levels, kada je Nobel Peace Prize Committee mentioned Dubravko u shortlist candidates za njegov contribution international cooperation through traditional knowledge sharing. United Nations General Assembly featured special session dedicated traditional knowledge preservation as Dubravko kao featured speaker addressing Global Assembly. Croatian mountain man demonstrated show local wisdom can provide universal solutions, announced UN Secretary General Tiden's opening remarks special session. Harvard Kennedy School of Government published comprehensive policy analysis titled Traditional Knowledge Integration, the Dubravko Model for Sustainable Development. Study examined how indigenous wisdom can inform contemporary policy decisions, achieving better outcomes, lower costs. International space collaboration achieved breakthrough Kada Earth shelter. Thermal principles contributed successful design, Mars habitat prototypes. Traditional knowledge directly informing advanced space exploration technologies, reported International Space Research Coordinator. Ancient wisdom premium cutting-edge applications. Major international construction companies invested combined resources exceeding €100 million, developing commercial applications, earth shelter principles, residential, e-commercial buildings. Traditional techniques inspiring entirely new approaches sustainable construction, explained Construction Industry Transformation Coordinator. World Economic Forum featured special panel Ancient Solutions Modern Challenges, Dubravko kao keynote speaker addressing global business leaders about value traditional knowledge, contemporary problem solving. Business community recognizing competitive advantages, incorporating indigenous wisdom, noted Economic Forum Research Director. International humanitarian organizations documented remarkable success implementing earth shelter techniques, refugee settlements worldwide. Traditional methods providing dignity, comfort displaced populations using locally available materials, significant cost savings, reported Humanitarian Aid Effectiveness Coordinator. Climate adaptation research achieved major breakthrough. Kada scientists confirmed earth shelter techniques can reduce residential energy consumption, average 60% extreme weather conditions. Traditional knowledge providing crucial tools addressing climate change impacts. Announced Climate Adaptation Research Consortium. Regional government transformation occurred, how multiple countries integrated earth shelter knowledge, official emergency preparedness legislation. Policy recognition, traditional techniques, essential community resilience, explained International Emergency Management Standards Coordinator. Educational revolution gained momentum. NHU universities worldwide established mandatory traditional knowledge components, environmental engineering programs. Academic curriculum evolution, recognizing indigenous wisdom, essential contemporary education, observed International Education Research Coordinator. International media attention peaked. Kao traditional knowledge stories dominated environmental and sustainability publications. Global audience fascination, authentic solutions driving unprecedented interest, traditional techniques, reported International Media Trend Analysis Coordinator. Professional equipment industry underwent complete transformation, yet companies developed hybrid products incorporating traditional knowledge principles. Industry evolution towards sustainable solutions directly inspired traditional techniques, noted Equipment Manufacturing Research Director. International Arctic Council formally adopted earth shelter construction protocols, all polar research installations worldwide. Official recognition traditional technique, essential safety resource extreme environments. Declared Arctic Council Safety Standards Committee. Cultural preservation organizations achieved major milestone documenting earth shelter techniques over 100 traditional communities globally. Comprehensive inventory. Traditional knowledge preserving invaluable human wisdom, reported Global Cultural Documentation Project Coordinator. Economic analysis revealed substantial impact. Earth shelter techniques creating sustainable employment opportunities, rural communities worldwide. Traditional knowledge preservation generating significant economic development benefits. Published International Development Economics Research Institute. International cooperation expanded YACO. Governments signed formal agreements facilitating traditional knowledge exchange programs. Official recognition. Traditional wisdom. Valuable resource requiring protection, e-sharing. Explained International Cooperation Treaty Coordinator. Scientific validation intensified. Cow research institutions published overwhelming evidence supporting earth shelter technique effectiveness. Academic confirmation. Traditional methods, often superior modern alternatives, multiple performance categories. Documented Scientific Research Evaluation Committee. Professional certification programs achieved global recognition as earth shelter instructor qualifications became internationally transferable credentials. Standardized certification enabling worldwide traditional knowledge transmission. Reported International Professional Standards Authority. Military applications expanded JACO NATO integrated earth shelter training standards Special Forces survival curricula. Strategic recognition traditional techniques providing crucial operational capabilities. Announced NATO Training Standards Committee. International development funding prioritized traditional knowledge preservation projects, achieving remarkable success rates. Investment traditional wisdom demonstrating superior returns, sustainable development objectives, reported International Development Funding Effectiveness Coordinator. Transportation industry adapted supporting growing traditional knowledge tourism worldwide. Infrastructure development facilitating access traditional technique learning opportunities, noted International Tourism Transportation Coordinator. Major publishing industry produced comprehensive technical documentation, earth shelter techniques, various environmental conditions. Professional quality resources enabling safe traditional technique implementation globally, reported Technical Publishing Industry Coordinator. Insurance industry developed specialized policies recognizing superior safety performance, traditional shelter applications. Risk assessment data confirming traditional techniques safer, more reliable than modern alternatives. Published Insurance Industry Research Analysis. Regional tourism transformation continued JACO traditional survival experiences, attracted participants from every continent. Cultural tourism focused traditional knowledge, creating sustainable economic opportunities worldwide. Documented International Tourism Development Coordinator. International research collaboration produced definitive database earth shelter variations use different cultures throughout history. Global knowledge repository preserving traditional techniques, future generations, a Chikin explained International Research Database Project Coordinator. Nije Mjesechi evolution, a personal survival technique do global movement, demonstrates remarkable potential traditional knowledge when properly recognized and supported, reflected Dubravko during interview as UN research delegation. Environmental organizations praised earth shelter techniques KIO, sustainable, alternative, energy-intensive, modern solutions. Traditional methods demonstrating harmony measure human needs and environmental responsibility. Noted International Environmental Advocacy Coordinator. International Space Station experiments confirmed Earth shelter thermal principles applicable advanced life support systems. Traditional knowledge contributing cutting-edge space technology development. Reported Space Station Research Coordinator. Professional wilderness education programs documented record enrollment traditional survival courses worldwide. Global demand authentic skills connecting natural world driving unprecedented interest traditional knowledge education. Observed International Wilderness Education Association. Cultural anthropologists recognized broader significance. Traditional knowledge revival contemporary society. Dubravkov's success, representing important cultural transformation, respectful integration, indigenous wisdom, modern contexts. Published cultural research analysis. Grandfather Joseph's wisdom now helping people worldwide, reflected Dubravko. Traditional knowledge proving universal value when respected, understood, and properly shared. Success demonstrated Kako individual commitment. Preserving traditional knowledge can create global transformation, providing practical solutions, contemporary challenges whilst maintaining cultural authenticity, and generating sustainable development opportunities worldwide. Paragraf 10. Godinu dana, nakon što je Dubravko Matić prvi put iskopao svoj smešni krevet u podrumu, Njegova traditional earth shelter tehnika postala je jedna od najuticajnijih inovacija u modern survival science. Transformisala industriju, outdoor equipment i inspirisala global movement, preserving traditional knowledge kao valuable resource addressing contemporary challenges. Ujedinjeni narodi oficijelno usvojili Dubravko Earth Shelter Standards kao global framework za emergency housing i disaster relief applications. Croatian Mountaineers Innovation provides practical, sustainable solution humanitarian emergencies worldwide, declared UN Emergency Response Coordinator during oficijalna ceremony in New York. Nobel Prize Committee recognized earth shelter research contributing significant advancement. Human survival science travails traditional knowledge integration. Dubravko's nomination for Peace Prize acknowledged his role facilitating international cooperation через traditional knowledge sharing initiatives. International Space Station achieved breakthrough. Implementing Earth shelter thermal principles, developing life support systems, future lunar and Mars missions. Traditional knowledge directly contributing advanced space exploration, reported NASA administrator. Ancient wisdom informing cutting-edge technology development. Fortune Global 500 companies invested combined resources exceeding €500 million developing commercial applications, Earth shelter principles. Traditional techniques revolutionizing sustainable construction industry, noted international construction industry analyst. Indigenous wisdom inspiring entirely new market categories. Your Harvard University established permanent Dubravko Institute Traditional Knowledge Innovation, dedicated researching applications indigenous wisdom contemporary challenges. Academic recognition traditional knowledge deserves serious scholarly investigation. Highest levels, explained Harvard president during institute opening ceremony. World Economic Forum designated traditional knowledge preservation KO top priority, Sustainable Development Agenda, citing Dubravko's achievement yak flagship example. Individual innovation, based traditional wisdom creating global transformation, declared WEF president. Regional economic transformation reached unprecedented levels. Kak Earth shelter tourism generated over €20 million annual revenue Croatian region. Traditional knowledge preservation creating sustainable prosperity, entire communities, reported Croatian Ministry, Economic Development. International Arctic Research Council adopted Earth shelter construction mandatory protocol, all polar research installations globally. Universal recognition traditional technique essential survival capability extreme environments, announced Council President. Climate adaptation policies worldwide, integrated earth shelter techniques, KO, crucial strategy addressing increasingly severe weather events. Traditional methods providing practical resilience tools, communities facing climate change, explained International Climate Adaptation Authority. Educational revolution accelerated. Kak over 300 universities worldwide required traditional knowledge components, engineering and environmental science degrees. Curriculum transformation, recognizing indigenous wisdom essential modern education, observed International Higher Education Association. Military survival training globally transformed, incorporating earth shelter techniques, standard special forces capabilities. Strategic value traditional knowledge providing operational advantages, conventional methods cannot match, reported NATO Training Command. International humanitarian organizations documented remarkable success implementing earth shelter projects, refugee camps, and disaster zones worldwide. Traditional techniques providing rapid, dignified shelter solutions using local materials, published International Humanitarian Aid Effectiveness Report. Scientific validation reached definitive confirmation. Kak comprehensive research proved earth shelter techniques superior modern alternatives, multiple performance categories. Overwhelming evidence supporting traditional methods, concluded International Survival Research Consortium. Cultural preservation achieved major milestone documenting earth shelter variations over 200 traditional communities globally. Comprehensive preservation traditional knowledge ensuring wisdom nil lost future generations, reported UNESCO. Traditional Knowledge Documentation Project. Professional certification programs established global standards. Earth Shelter Instruction Enabling Worldwide Knowledge Transfer. International Recognition Traditional Technique Instructors, explained Global Professional Certification Authority. Major publishing industry produced extensive technical literature documenting earth shelter applications, various environmental conditions. Professional quality resources supporting safe traditional technique implementation worldwide, noted International Technical Publishing Association. Insurance industry developed preferential policies traditional shelter applications based superior safety performance data. Risk assessment confirming traditional techniques significantly safer, more reliable. Published International Insurance Risk Analysis. International media coverage documented complete transformation public attitudes toward traditional knowledge. Global recognition, indigenous wisdom, valuable resource solving contemporary problems. Observed International Media Research Institute. Equipment manufacturing industry underwent fundamental restructuring, incorporating traditional knowledge principles product development. Innovation inspired traditional techniques creating new generation sustainable survival equipment, reported Equipment Manufacturing Industry Analysis. Transportation networks developed supporting traditional knowledge tourism educational programs worldwide. Infrastructure supporting access traditional learning opportunities. Documented international tourism transportation development. International cooperation agreements facilitated traditional knowledge exchange programs ISMEJU countries. Official recognition, traditional wisdom requires protection e sharing, explained International Cooperation Treaty Coordination Office. Regional governments implemented policies prioritizing traditional knowledge preservation, integration, emergency preparedness protocols. Legislative recognition, traditional techniques, essential community resilience, noted Government Policy Research Institute. Economic analysis documented substantial global impact earth shelter techniques, creating sustainable employment, reducing costs emergency shelter provision. Traditional knowledge contributing significant economic benefits worldwide, published International Development Economics Institute. One Godina transformed personal survival experiment into global movement, reflected Dubrovko during anniversary celebration attended by delegates from 30 countries. Demonstrates tremendous potential traditional knowledge when respected, properly supported. International research collaboration produced comprehensive database traditional shelter techniques used cultures throughout history. Global repository preserving traditional knowledge, future application, explained International Traditional Knowledge Research Consortium. Environmental organizations praised earth shelter techniques, CAO, sustainable alternative energy intensive modern solutions. Traditional methods demonstrating harmony ISMEJU human needs environmental responsibility, noted International Environmental Advocacy Coalition. Cultural anthropologists recognized broader significance traditional knowledge revival. Dubrovkov's success representing fundamental cultural shift toward respectful integration indigenous wisdom, published Cultural Research International. International development organizations achieved unprecedented success implementing traditional shelter techniques developing countries. Cost-effective solutions enabling decent housing populations previously unable to afford adequate shelter, documented Global Development Success Assessment. Grandfather Joseph's simple knowledge now helping millions people worldwide, reflected Dubrovko. Proves traditional wisdom, timeless value when properly understood, respected, and applied contemporary challenges. Site. Final measurements confirmed earth shelter technique maintained superior performance throughout entire year, achieving average TE.